Good morning to you. Yes, you, my dear listener, my dear friend who always keeps your radio dial tuned to WMNF Tampa, your resistance radio station from Tampa Bay to the Gulf of Mexico, and the only sagacious little radio station that Kilgore Trout streams when he's not writing science fiction, and you can stream us as well at WMNF.org. There is nothing that I enjoy doing more than an AMA Monday, the Ask Me Anything element of the Healthy Steps radio show. And holy smokes, today is Ask Me Anything Monday. So if you are anything like me, I'm certain that you too are all agog in anticipation. You just have to give us a call and share your medical questions and concerns. Punch those 10 little buttons, 813-239-9663. It's worth the call just to say hello to Maddie, the soft spirit of WMNF. She is in the control room answering the phones today. That number again is 813-239-9663. Or for you shy ones, you can send that email to dj@wmnf.org. You can also text us at 813-433-0885. Good morning to you, Dr. Harvey. AMA Monday is always a great day, and unlike any other day of the week, I am absolutely elated about the possibilities of this show when your listeners fully participate by calling in and emailing us. So let's find out what's happening and crank this show on up. What have you got for us today, Dr. Fred?
As usual, I have some really interesting things to talk about, but thank you again for that great introduction.
Well, my pleasure, and let's move on to some interesting things there, Doctor.
Let's do it. So I was just wondering, how many alcoholic drinks do you out there in listening land have in an entire week? 1, none, 5, 10, more? You know that if you have 1 drink a day, your health could be impacted. But as I mentioned last week, I don't believe that our current healthcare administration is interested in human health, because in September, it was reported that a large federal government study that was published for comment in January of this year has been basically back-shelved. It's been not officially published, but it is available on the samhsa.gov website. It's a draft for public comment. And the draft report is Scientific Findings of the Alcohol Intake and Health Study. And so after public comment, and primarily comment from the alcohol industry, this was quietly suppressed. The problem is that Health and Human Services is supposed to promote the health of humans and not the health of the alcohol industry stockholders. So again, once again, we see the grift is on here at the Department of Health and Human Services with our great grifting Director of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So this report basically was supposed to help inform drinking guidelines, but they're clinging to the drinking guidelines that were concocted with the help of the alcohol industry, the ones that were already on the books last year. And so instead of the suggestion that we should drink less alcohol, some panelists behind the competing report have said, no, we don't need to reduce it that much. It's really a problem because the data is pretty clear. Alcohol is poison. As little as 1 drink a day is linked to cancer. Think about that. 1 drink a day. And that means that if you have 3 on Friday and 4 on Saturday, your equivalent is 1 drink a day. So a little bit of high intensity single day usage still can cause the same problems. And so the risk of negative health effects really starts at about 1 drink a day. What some of the data shows is that 1 in 1,000 humans who drink if people who drink greater than 7 drinks a week, greater than 1 a day, they have a 1 in 1,000, so a 0.1% chance of risk of dying from the alcohol-related illness. And if you increase the intake only by 2 more, greater than 9 per week, you increase that risk to 1 in 100. You have 1% chance of dying from alcohol-related illness. So I think this is really important. I think that the Surgeon General, the Director of Health and Human Services should be focused on things like this that are very simple to change. So 1 drink a day increases your risk of cirrhosis. The liver disease that scars your liver to the point where it doesn't work anymore. It increases your risk of esophageal cancer, of oral cancer, of injuries. But it does decrease your risk for a stroke. Then there's also 7 types of cancer, 7 different types of cancer that are increased by increased alcohol usage. One of those is colorectal. There's been a vast increase in young people cancers. And I see a lot of push to have young people socialize with beer and alcohol and those weird soda-like things that have vodka in them. Seltzers. They're not seltzers. They're alcohol delivery devices. And so when you consume that much alcohol, you risk all these things. Also, beyond colorectal, there's this whole thing from the alternative community talking about turbo cancers and relating it to the shots that were given over the pandemic. Maybe, but really there's not a lot of good data that proves that that's what's doing it. But we have a lot of proof that toxicity is causing this, and we keep getting more toxic because all of our food is, or not all of it, I shouldn't say all of it, some of us eat organic, but a bulk of our food is poisoned in the field before it's harvested, and then it's poisoned before it's put in the box to prevent it from, quote, spoiling, end quote. So like we're professionally poisoning our food, but we're also doing toxic things like drinking alcohol. Female breast cancer is increased by 1 drink a day. Liver cancer, oral cancer, pharyngeal cancer, that's your throat. Laryngeal cancer, that's your voice box. Esophageal cancer. Well, when you drink alcohol, you increase your acid, you increase your reflux, and you have reflux and heartburn where you actually have the acid coming up and hitting your throat and your voice box, and that causes inflammation, which causes cancer. Any use of alcohol causes increased risk. Any. And it increases with increased usage really rapidly, like not necessarily completely linear. It shoots up really quickly as you increase the dose. And women had a much greater risk of ethanol-related cancers. Injury is another thing. There's a much higher risk with higher per occasion usage. So if you have it's noticed that women who have 3 drinks and men who have 4 drinks or more have an increased risk of injury. So you fall and you break something. Youth who drink by age 15 have a significantly increased risk of dying between ages 15 and 20. Think about that. It's an easy way to end a youthful person's life. Alcohol is a poison. We've known this for years. And we need to think about it differently. But now our public health department is choosing to favor millionaires and billionaires who own alcohol companies over public health. What do you people think about that? Are you getting pissed off that our government is actually disserving us like this? I am. Make America hurt always is not a good slogan, but I think that's the one they're actually using. This is WMNF. I'm Dr. Fred Harvey. We are talking on the Healthy Steps radio show.
Absolutely, we are there, Doctor, and we do appreciate the people participating in this show. And we're encouraging you to join Denise and Tom by giving us a call with your medical questions or concerns at 813-239-9663. As I've said, Maddie is here taking the calls. So that number, one more time, is 813-239-9663. Or you can continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. Let's go to Denise. Good morning to you, Denise.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Denise.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I wanted to hear your insight on peptides for perimenopause symptoms.
Well, so which peptides are you talking about?
Well, I'm starting to research it, and I understand there's different combinations and different peptides that do, for many different areas of the body or conditions.
So you're talking about prescription medication or over-the-counter stuff?
Prescription.
Okay, so peptides. Peptides are small versions of protein. We have many peptides in our body, like insulin is a peptide, and growth hormone is a peptide. And so our body naturally makes peptides. We have this whole new industry of synthetic peptides, the GLP-1 agonist medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound. These are peptides, and they have very potent activities. So perimenopause, if you're having symptoms, is likely to be related to the two things that I think drive most of our problems, and that is toxicity and inflammation.
Inflammation is a big one for me. Pain, inflammation, muscle, joint, and stiffness.
So have you had that stuff diagnosed by anyone?
No, I've talked about it, but I've been dismissed as just getting older, and that's just a part of life.
Oh, so you see a standard primary care doctor?
Yes.
Yes, that's pretty obvious by the dismissal, because I just read an article today that women get dismissed twice as often as men for complaints, and they tell them it's in your head and you're hysterical and you need some Prozac. And there's two words that I would use, and they're really vulgar, and I can't say them on air. When you put them together, it's a really obnoxious thing, and it starts with F, because that's the kind of treatment you're getting from an abusive misogynist when that happens. And so what you need to do, I think, really, is find a practitioner who deals with inflammation and causality and toxicity and causality. You need to find a functional medicine doctor. IFM.org, the Institute for Functional Medicine.org, has a physician finder in your area. It's worth it to go and talk to someone who's trained like I am, because we don't just dismiss you with an ibuprofen and call me later because I don't really care about you. I only have 4 minutes to deal with this BS. So get out of my office and don't bother me again, is unfortunately what seems to be an attitude that happens way too often. I know that there are really good doctors out there that really try hard, but they're also constrained by a system that's broken and is designed to abuse. But there's no point in going to peptides unless you clear up the inflammation. However, if you have a metabolic problem where you're obese, you have things going on that are causing it, the GLP-1 agonists really help. They turn around inflammation. So you might find a good doctor who's willing to work with you on that too, and help you use peptides to get over the inflammation. But you have to do a whole program to help put the inflammation to rest, or you're going to be on expensive injectable medicines forever.
Okay.
And there's no real solid evidence anywhere about the over-the-counter ones, like BPC 157. There's lots of anecdotal reports and testimonial, but there's no clinical trials except in animals.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and good luck with that. Hope you find a good doctor to help you through this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much there, Denise, and keep us posted. Stay in touch with us, please. I've got Tom from St. Pete on the line. Good morning to you, Tom.
Good morning.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you doing?
Fantastic. How are you today?
Well, considering it's a Monday, I'm doing as good as can possibly be. I can do, and that's pretty good. Hey, what I wanted to ask you about is, I think that I have refined down our bodies into three pillars of health, and I would put that into it's what we eat or consume or don't, like the toxins. It's how we think, if we are full of hate and fear and sadness, or if we are full of love and compassion, that it's, your mindset. And the third pillar that I'd like to ask you about is sleep. And I think that is sometimes underrated because I think it is such an essential part of our health. And I've been doing like B6 and magnesium glycinate before going to bed, before I want to sleep. I used to do melatonin, but I heard recently that you can develop a dependence on that. So I've eliminated that, and luckily I didn't really do that much. But I thought I'd ask you, what, aside from not drinking and not eating, 3 hours before, you want to sleep, what are your top recommendations for good sleep?
Well, you want to make sure that you have kind of depixelated your brain for an hour before you go to bed. You want to not look at video screens, and it's better to turn off your higher frequency bluish light and change to incandescent, which isn't available anymore, or candlelight or something like that to really step it down. You want your bedroom to be quiet. Your phone should be plugged in a different room than your bedroom. You should really try to keep all light out of the room. So blackout shades are really a good thing. And you should never have a TV in the bedroom because there's no point there because you're not supposed to watch TV in the bedroom. So all these things you could actually help to change that. You've already mentioned not eating for hours beforehand. You're taking the magnesium glycinate. Glycine helps to calm the mood. Magnesium does too. B6 may enhance that. It may enhance the production of melatonin as well. And so you're doing a lot of good things there. I think that's a great place to be. Another thing you can do is eliminate alcohol because alcohol disrupts your sleep cycle.
No other nutrients that spring to mind for doing in the evening to help with sleep, aside from maybe cannabinoids.
Well, I try to do as much of it without taking anything extra, just have your body do its natural thing. Because when we were created on this planet, we really didn't have exogenous substances to help us sleep. We just slept. So I think that also spending a half hour meditating and putting yourself into a peaceful mood would be good. Putting on things like 432 hertz music or 528 hertz music are very calming tones that can also help to step it down. But if you really feel like you need something more, half a milligram or a milligram of melatonin is not a big deal. And tryptophan can convert into 5-HTP, serotonin, and melatonin to help calm things down. There are some different herbs and things you could do that are calming, but I would start with just the things that we talked about. And by the way, there is another couple of pillars to health that I would talk about. One really key pillar that you missed is movement. We do not thrive if we do not move.
Excellent. Yeah, go on. Do tell. What's the other? I meant to ask you if you had any more to add to that.
We are not islands. We are social creatures. We need relationships. Sleep, yes, definitely. Thoughts. So the thoughts are really key. And so doing mindfulness, meditation, and at the end of a day, downloading. Sit with your family and friends, discuss the challenges of the day, and put them to bed before you actually have your dinner meal and have an evening of quiet, because you don't want to carry your problems to bed with you. Drinking water absolutely is crucial. Clean water in the right amounts is absolutely necessary. So I think we've covered most of the things that are really important there. Sorry. The biggest one. Have a purpose in life. If you don't have a purpose in life, your life shrinks and it goes away.
Hey, in conclusion, let me just tell you, I think that I have discovered the purpose of life. And in 30 seconds, I will tell you, find something that you're good at and get as good as you can get as doing at least one thing that you're good at. And after you've gotten as good as you can get at that one thing or some things, teach it. Teach it to as many people as you can. Huh? What better purpose?
That is great, sharing it. Not everybody's a teacher, though, but if you have something you love and you do it well, and you, say, produce a product, a painting, a piece of clothing, a book, this is also the same kind of sharing. And so, yes, I agree with you.
Yes.
The purpose in life is finding your joy and following that joy. That's really, I think, everybody's purpose.
And share it. Thank you.
Yes.
Have a great day.
You have a great one, too. Thanks for calling.
Thanks. Yep. Bye-bye.
Thank you there, Tom. And I do have Sarah waiting patiently, but if you're just joining the conversation, you are listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, and you're invited to participate by calling 813-239-9663. Again, the number to call is 813-239-9663, or continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. Now let's go on over to Sarah. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. I wasn't going to call in this week. I was just going to listen because I do better when I listen sometimes. But your opening topic really prompted me because I don't know if you're aware, but some guy, Scott, last name starts with a G, I believe, was on Bill Maher on Friday. I have mixed feelings about Bill Maher, but anyways, he was the special author guest that he started his program with. And I was appalled to hear one of his new recommendations on what ails young males in this culture right now, the crisis of the young male in America, was to drink more. And I couldn't believe it. He actually said something about he's been on some of these let's just call them Gen Zers.
Yes.
Podcasters who are not drinking, who think it's a great thing not to drink, and he was disparaging them. And I just wondered if you had heard that, number one. And then my second question, since I did call in, would be about the other thing, which is alcohol and caffeine. To me, go kind of hand in hand. What is there a way to dose caffeine to stay with an alert brain kind of throughout the day? I've always just kind of used caffeine in the morning to get started, and not much of it. I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm not a tea drinker. I'm not a soda drinker. Just a little bit of something, even if it was chocolate, to just get some kind of caffeine movement. But I'm finding the older I get, the less effective that is, and I'm actually seriously thinking, should I take a sip or a small, caffeinated beverage of some type every 2 to 3 hours through my workday? And I'll leave it at that.
So there is a lot of clinical evidence that coffee is good for you. It actually, I was reviewing something the other day, and the amazing benefits are there, but you can't use sugar in your coffee if you want the benefits. And the suggestion is 3 to 4 cups a day before noon actually gives you the most benefit. Most people will actually have the benefit of that last another 4 hours. If you've had that much coffee in that time, you'll tend to stay alert for the next 4 hours. I mean, if you want to be alert through the evening, you might want to try something different, because doing more caffeine in the afternoon actually begins to reduce the metabolic benefits. It's really weird. It was a J-curve kind of thing where it turned the corner after you turned the time and the amount. more than 4 cups wasn't good either. Any with sugar in it. You could have like 1 cup with 1 teaspoon of sugar. The rest of it should be without sugar because that totally ruins the beneficial effects of it. So using caffeine to stay alert is not necessarily the best methodology. You can do 5 to 15-minute meditations that increase your focus and your energy, and use guided ones that are totally designed to fire you up. Joe Dispenza has some like that. You can find them on Insight Timer and other different apps that have these. But yeah, I mean, there's other ways to do it. And if you're relying on caffeine to do it, then it means there's something metabolically going on that's making you tired. So what's wrong with your sleep? What's wrong with the food you're taking in? Are you not getting enough calories? I've noticed that when I've missed a meal, I will become much less focused. It's not that I get hangry, but I just don't have as much mental energy.
Okay.
How's that work for you, Sarah?
That works great, thank you. How about the comment on the guy prescribing alcohol for young males?
Oh. Well, I think anybody that's suggesting young males drink more alcohol needs to have a little bit of counseling and their head examined. With the history and the evidence that we have, it's probably better that they'd smoke a joint, because I don't see the same kind of issues that I do with alcohol. I mean, I'm not seeing the same kind of stuff show up with all these different medical issues. Alcohol's a poison. It disrupts your body. And I've heard Scott Galloway talk. He's very provocative. He has some really weird ideas, I think. And this whole idea about positive masculinity as the provider, protector, and procreator, it's so weirdly biblical that I'm not sure where he's going with this stuff, because that's not the way I see positive masculinity. Women can be a provider and a protector too, and they also procreate. In fact, they're the ones that carry the baby. So this weird misogyny that he professes is just out of character with his being supposedly progressive.
Oh, yes, you named the author. I couldn't think of his last name. But, yeah, like I said, I heard all the 3 Ps he mentioned, but when he mentioned that he thought males needed to drink more because it's a social lubricant to ask women out, I was like, you're crazy, dude. So
yes, he is. That's completely insane. And, Bill Maher gives him a nice big platform, and he has lots of money so he can buy lots of platforms.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you there, Sarah. But now the board has gone dark, and so we're going to take a little short break here while I remind you that you are listening to the Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, and we're inviting you to participate with your questions and medical concerns by calling 813-239-9663. Maddie is here taking the calls. So again, that number is 813-239-9663. And you can continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. Back to you there, Doctor.
So, yeah, it's a really interesting conversation. You brought that up about the alcohol. And there's actually somebody out there promoting this extra drinking. It's weird. Drinking makes people make bad decisions. So yeah, social lubricants, so you can go have some premarital sex unprotected. What? This is just weird. But so here's an interesting email. It is anonymous. I caught my significant other cheating on me about a month and a half ago, and I recently have been diagnosed with syphilis. How long did she have to have it before I could get it from her? Well, there's a pre-symptomatic period that lasts about, I think it is somewhere around a couple of weeks. But I'm trying to find it online right now because that is a really interesting question. 10 days, averaging 21 days, up to 90 days. And so, so anytime after the infection and the original wound called a chancre appears, it takes within 3 weeks to have that thing show up, then there's contagion. And then that contagion can last a long time after that. But that's the primary period of time. I'm sorry about that. Best wishes. But really, you do have to get treated, and treatment is very successful. But you really want to get it early. The moment you know you're diagnosed, get treated, because if it goes deep, secondary and tertiary, late stages, then it's really, really hard to treat and takes intravenous antibiotics and ongoing treatments. And so, yeah, you really want to get treated right away. So we have a couple callers, it seems.
Yeah, that last shout out really did it. We've got John and another John and then a Michael and a Mike. So let's go to John in Sarasota. Good morning to you, John.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Harvey. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to address... Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to address the issue with alcohol and cancer. And I have prostate cancer and have been on active surveillance for years now. My numbers were in the single digits up until just in September. I went away on vacation and did some binge drinking. When I came back and did my usual my monthly PSA test, my numbers had doubled after that particular episode. I had been drinking for a week or so around my birthday and partying with some friends, and don't often do that, but did notice a sharp increase in my PSA score. I just wanted to relay that to you as far as whether or not this will drop. I'm waiting for results on a current PSA test to see if it's come down. It's been almost 2 months now, so I'm waiting to see what those results are, but I was very shocked at this abrupt increase.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive piece of evidence you just showed there, that the alcohol causes toxicity and inflammation and does this.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked, but as you spoke about it, I mean, I could see the clear, the clear picture there that the two are correlated with the increase in the body struggling to battle the alcohol saturation versus like your PSA score. I don't know what the relationship is, but there's clearly a relationship of some sort.
Yeah, well, the alcohol changes hormone metabolism, it changes inflammation, it disrupts cellular communication. There's all kinds of things that are going on there.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that, with my sobriety for the last 60 days or something, that that my PSA might drop, but I'm not certain if that's in the cards there.
I have a feeling it's going to go down. I'd love to hear about it. Would you let us know?
I will let you know. Yeah, I was just waiting for. There's a website that I go to get my PSA tests, which is really good, and it's they buy it in bulk, and you're able to get these tests by purchasing them online, and they're like a third of the price that the labs charge.
Excellent.
And it's really a great service. But I'm able to do my active surveillance, my wakeful watching, regularly, because the price is only like $50 for the blood work, and which is really good. It's
I take it you had a Gleason 6 or lower tumor.
I don't have a tumor per se, but I had my Gleason score has been 3+3 and a 1 3+4. So
okay.
I don't recognize it. They haven't noticed any tumors. I don't have a
Oh, well, have you had an MRI of your prostate?
I have, yes, and they haven't noticed any tumors. So that
very good. So you just have cancer cells growing there. Well, that's they responded pretty well to the alcohol. So yeah, I think abstention is in it for you.
Yeah, no kidding. I totally agree, because I got myself actually pretty physically sick, and that was a wake up call also.
Yeah, that's no fun. Hey, there's some anti-inflammatories you can do that do benefit the prostate. Resveratrol, or its methylated friend called pterostilbene, green tea extract, epigallocatechin gallate is its name, broccoli extract called sulforaphane, and turmeric extract called curcumin all have beneficial effects on prostate cancer.
Yeah, I do take a fair amount, not a fair amount, but I do take regular doses of curcumin and turmeric, and then saw palmetto and some dandelion extract.
Well, saw palmetto is not going to do much for you. Dandelion might help your liver, but the other three that I mentioned are really directly associated with reducing prostate inflammation.
Yeah, they're too complicated for me to write them down quickly, so I have a hard time, but maybe I can call after the show or something and get the names of those three things.
Yeah, you can listen to the archive, and I'll say them again here now. There's actually a combination supplement that I like to use called Cytokine Balance, if you can find that one online. That one's got the combination of the broccoli extract, sulforaphane, the curcumin from turmeric. Sulforaphane, Sulforafane, or the other way around, Sulforaphane. I think that's the way it's spelled. Resveratrol, and EGCG from green tea extract.
Okay, I do a lot of green tea, and
good. So you don't need to take the extract probably if you're doing the green tea.
Yeah, that's my go-to drink is green tea.
Very good.
Tea. All right, and a broccoli extract you were mentioning there too. Okay, I don't really find that too much at the food store, the supplement store I go to.
But if you go to your regular store and get microgreens and eat broccoli sprouts, they have the highest amount of sulforaphane of any food you can eat.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I do eat a fair amount of broccoli, so I guess. But
broccoli sprouts, though.
Stronger, sure.
Sprouts.
A lot better.
Not the broccoli itself.
Mm-hmm. Broccoli extract.
Broccoli sprouts, microgreens.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
They have the highest amount of sulforaphane per gram of food, and they're pretty tasty.
Okay, yeah, I love sprouts. Yeah, that's good. Well, thanks for that, and I just want to let you know what my experience was there.
Yeah, please let us know what happens with abstention. Thank you.
I will. Thank you very much for your show. I appreciate it every day.
You're welcome.
Bye now.
Thanks for calling on in, John. Appreciate that, and appreciate all of our callers. And I'm going to go to one of them now, John in Lutz. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hello, John. I can hear you.
Thank you, Dr. Harvey. I've got a difficult question for you. None of my doctors seem to be able to answer it. And what's the cure for tinnitus or tinnitus, whatever they call it?
There is no cure.
Go ahead.
There's no cure. Basically, about the way I look at life, there's no cure for any disease. Cure is a thing that Western medicine made up to make sure you can take poisons and do surgeries when you don't necessarily need them. Cure is an elusive word. But how about remission or improvement or change? Tinnitus, ringing in the ears. Doctors are pursuing treatment for that for as long as humans have existed, I think, or doctors have existed. It's a maddening kind of thing with that ringing in the ears. But there's no actual direct treatment because what it is damage. We think it's damage to your acoustic nerve, your hearing nerve. And so the only way you can deal with that is by decreasing toxicity to the nerve, decreasing stress in your body. I have noticed that people who are more stressed and more anxious have more noticing, more perception of the tinnitus ringing than people who are calmer. So mindfulness is a really big thing. Other people have suggested that maybe some magnesium might help, or fish oil, or all kinds of things, but really I have never found a specific treatment other than getting calmer and getting rid of toxicity.
Great. What about the some of the drugs, the statins and blood pressure medications contributing to it?
So they might. And if they do, then stop them and see if it gets better. We know that Rush Limbaugh went deaf and had constant ringing in his ears because he abused hydrocodone, opiates for years. Opiates cause ringing in the ears, and it doesn't go away. It damages it. High-dose antibiotics of a certain couple of classes will cause that. Chemotherapy will cause that. There's so many different things, and if you notice that there is actually a risk of ringing in the ear, tinnitus, with any medication you're on, ask the doctor to change the medication.
Yeah, I've unfortunately been self-cutting off the statin, and next I'm going to try the blood pressure medication to see if it makes any changes. But so far, it's not been effective. I think I'll try the stress relief.
I think that's the better choice because stopping your blood pressure medicine, if you do have treatable blood pressure, may cause more risk than you really want.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Harvey. Appreciate the input.
You're welcome. Have a great day and good luck with that.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much there, John. And yes, indeed, good luck with that. And I've got 2 callers on the line right now in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to give this number out one more time. If you want to participate today in the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey, give Maddie or give us a call, and Maddie will take the call at 813-239-9663. And you can continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. I'm going to go to Michael in Palmetto. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I've recently had a blood test, and normally my cholesterol looks fine, but they measured the LDL particles, and it showed that I had higher than normal small LDL particles, which I understand can affect your arteries.
Sure.
And not sure what the cause of that is. I don't eat a lot of red meats, but I do occasionally. And I think I heard that it could be a case of insulin resistance. And
actually, you're on target there. High LDL particles are a metabolic phenomenon and not really associated with the food you're eating.
Okay, then my next question would be, I just read that metformin and other GLP inhibitors can help with insulin resistance.
Yes.
And of course, that intrigues me, but I don't take any medication. I'm wondering if there's a more natural way of controlling or improving insulin resistance.
Do you walk 30 minutes daily?
Not really. I do walk 10 or 20, not daily. Sometimes I feel like I'm active, and looking at a step monitor, I'm averaging like 4,000 a day. But I don't know that really counts because I don't think you get the aerobic unless you're doing it like 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, so what they've shown is it doesn't really matter how far you walk or how fast you walk, but if you walk for 20 to 30 minutes every day, you reset your insulin sensitivity, and it only lasts a day, so you have to move every day. The first natural thing you can do is set your schedule for a daily walk, especially in the morning. And a really good time to do it is before you have anything in your stomach except for maybe some water or a cup of coffee with no sugar in it.
Great. Good advice.
So doing a fasting walk in the morning resets that. And then you were mentioning medication. I'd never step into medication with insulin resistance because there's so many better things you could do before that. So are you getting 30 grams of fiber in your diet a day?
Yes, I believe I am.
Good. So that's great.
High fiber. Mm-hmm.
Are you getting enough fish and fish oil?
Fish oil, yes. I usually take one supplement in the morning and then one in the evening. I eat fish probably at least twice a week, maybe 3 times, which brings me to my next question. I eat a lot of chicken as an alternative to red meats, but I think I heard somewhere that chicken is high in omega-6, and my omega-6 to omega-3 seem to be higher, even though I'm taking the fish oil. Could it?
So you did omega-3. You did a fatty acid test for your blood?
Yes.
Brilliant. And what was your omega-3 index?
I'm sorry, I don't have that right in front of me.
Okay, no problem. You want to make sure that is getting over 5, preferably to 8. But as you said, your omega-6s are a bit higher, so that would suggest you have a bit too much grain on board. Maybe you're using more seed oil than other oil to cook with. Saturated fat is really another thing that raises the cholesterol and reduces your insulin resistance, or increases your insulin resistance, so it reduces your insulin effectiveness. So you want to, the reason to avoid fatty red meat is because of the saturated fats. Don't worry about the cholesterol. You can eat eggs. Key here is that you need to work on that insulin resistance. Walking is the best thing you can do. And then a supplement that acts like metformin, but also helps with the oxidative stress caused by insulin resistance is alpha lipoic acid.
Okay, I take that about 3 times a week. Should I maybe take it daily?
So if you take it daily, it's going to act as a daily insulin resistance improver, and you might find some help with that. Magnesium is another good thing. Chromium, you can find them in just a good multivitamin. If you're eating 30 grams of fiber, you're probably getting enough vegetables that you're getting your magnesium. But those are some easy things to do before you'd ever consider starting medication.
Great. I really appreciate your help and your time. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Good luck with that. I hope you have some good success, and I think you will.
Thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you there, Michael. And let's go to Robert in Sarasota. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning. Thanks for taking the call, Dr. Harvey.
You're welcome.
Just have a quick question regarding blood pressure. This is something new that I've been diagnosed with high blood pressure probably over the past 4 months. Up until that point, it's always been relatively stable, 120 over 80, and sometimes even on the low side. Haven't had any lifestyle changes or anything like this, but it's averaging close to 145 to 91 to 150 to 91 roughly. And I'm just curious as to, if there's some hidden thing that I'm overlooking so far. I've been to my GP, and she did get me started on olmestatin, 20 milligrams, but I didn't like the way it made me feel. So, and it was bringing my blood pressure way too low.
Wait, what was she? Olmesartan.
Olmesartan, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you may not need something that big, especially if this is something that just happened. What changed in your life that may have caused your blood pressure to go up? Did you gain some weight?
No.
Are you sleeping worse?
Yeah, definitely sleeping worse. Definitely not sleeping as well as I have been.
Are you stressed?
I don't think so. We've not had any life changes. We moved last year, but it hasn't been a stressful move. It's
okay, good. So with that out of the way, so it's not stress that's disrupting your sleep. Something else is.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's.
How is it disrupted?
I do move a lot. I turn a lot at night. And the odd thing is I'm a cyclist. I cycle a lot, and crazy enough is when I get done cycling, my blood pressure will be almost normal or too low, especially if I put a hard ride in, a long hard ride during the summertime. The mornings, my blood pressure seems to be the highest, and doctors should usually be the lowest in the morning and then kind of rise a little bit. I don't know what doctor you're talking to, but blood pressure is highest in the morning. Okay, that makes sense.
When you wake up, when everybody wakes up, cortisol is high because it gets you awake, and cortisol tells you to start walking to look for food. That is our evolutionary hormonal wake-up call. Men get a spike in testosterone too. And so we're awake and our blood pressure is higher. That's why men have heart attacks in the early morning hours, because adrenaline and cortisol have raised your blood pressure and put you under a stress situation. Right. Okay, that makes sense. Do you snore? Yes. High blood pressure out of the blue with sleep disorder could be sleep apnea. Okay. I would get checked for sleep apnea because that is a definitely treatable cause. Okay. All right. And that's kind of what I was leaning towards. I'm going to see a cardiologist in a couple weeks, and just to check out the heart and make sure everything's good there. And I'm gonna make mention of that and see if he can order a sleep study for me and see if that's what's going on. Yeah, it makes sense. Or you could just call up your primary care doctor and say, hey, dude, I need a sleep study. I think I figured it out. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your input very much, Dr. Harvey.
I hope you get some resolution there. Let me know what happens.
Yeah, one last question. Is it normal for my, during heavy activity for the blood pressure to drop dramatically? Like I'm talking 185 over 65?
Well, 185 over 65 sounds like a normal exercise blood pressure because you're going to pump up that systolic top number while you're pumping your heart and moving, and that's going to respond quickly within minutes to drop back down to a normal pressure afterwards.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Appreciate your input so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Have a great day.
Take care.
Thank you there, Robert. And let's go to Jim in Riverview. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Doctor.
Hi there.
I got a question. My wife went in for some blood work, and she's got high potassium. Do you know what causes that?
Well, one thing that can cause it is poorly handled specimens. When the red blood cells break apart in a poorly handled blood draw, you have high potassium with nothing else abnormal on the blood draw.
She was pretty good at most everything else, but the potassium's really high. And,
yeah, if she's...
she does eat like a banana every morning and stuff like that, but she didn't think that would cause her potassium to be so far out of whack. And they
right, it wouldn't.
About it, so I don't know.
It wouldn't. Does she take medication that raises potassium?
No, actually, my wife's in pretty good shape. She takes no medication whatsoever.
I would say repeat the test. It's probably an error.
Okay. Well, she's had 2 different blood tests, and now she's going for a third to check out her thyroid.
So 2 of them had said she has high potassium.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's not just a random one time. Okay. So hormonal things can cause that primarily. So she needs to get evaluated for high potassium causes. The adrenal glands can do that. Failing kidneys can do that.
Did that?
Yeah, hey, we're down to the last seconds here. So I'm going to answer a couple of emails. Here's one from Jan. Woke up last week, had extreme vertigo. Went to the hospital, spent a whole day there. Still having issues off and on. Yeah, vertigo is related to ear nerve damage, problems with the middle ear, the inner ear. Sometimes blockages can do it, but generally it is related to a toxicity or a virus issue. And so I would... If it continues, you're going to need further evaluation from an ears, nose, and throat doctor, but it will probably resolve because the virus is time limited. Here's one. Thank you for speaking on the subject of alcohol consumption, and could I speak further about available meds that can help curb the cravings from alcohol? Actually, not really, because it's not the way I would deal with it. There are people that deal with that, and I haven't used any of those medicines in years. So, yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody for this engagement today. Great questions. Thank you for calling. It was great talking with you. Thanks, Bill, for running the show in-house. And thank you, Maddie, for answering the phones. I just wanted to mention to everybody that this is the last 2 weeks of my physical medical practice. I'm closing the office as of the end of November. And if anybody wants to stop by and say hi, the address is 3982 Bee Ridge Road, Suite J, upstairs in the corner building. And if you do stop by, we have some gifts for you. One of them is a copy of my book, Against All Odds. So if you feel like stopping by and saying goodbye to the medical practice, I'll be online doing a virtual practice here on in. So have a great day.
Well, and to you too there, Doctor. I'm sorry I won't be able to run on down, but maybe we'll be able to meet sometime here at the studio. You take care now. You have been listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Coming on up next is 5 minutes of NPR News, followed by the Sustainable Living Show, hosted today by Annie Ellis. So until next Monday at 10 a.m., thank you for supporting and listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, your community conscious radio station. Stay safe, Stay thoughtful and know that you are loved.